Welcome, Red Knight.
Hello there. It took me a few minutes because I needed to set up stream avatars again for some reason. Wasn't originally working here, but we seem to have configured it. Seems to be fine now with that little game capture. So very strange. But yeah, anyway, restarting it. It's all working now. Set up good, so it should be fine. Gonna get to a little Romeo and Juliet, then our second part of Flowers for Algernon here. Excited to return to that. We'll see other adventures, maybe some Kingdom Come Deliverance, first time in 3 years tonight, as we await the sequel for that. Though I probably won't play the sequel when it comes out based on how frustrating the first one's been for me. But good fun. We'll get to Skyrim, other things like that shortly. Happy Magnificent Monday. We have officially begun. Look forward to chat with you soon. We also have a new cheer in the mix tonight. Just able to upload that in time. And then had the little stream avatar hiccups. I need to restart for that. But just got the new cheer up in time and tested it foolproof, unlike the last one, which I didn't actually test. This one is tested and good to go. So we're looking great. Let us begin here and get settled in the chill zone for a while before we begin the adventures tonight. Magnificent Monday has officially begun. So let's check it out. Have good audio for now. Audio balance. I have the limiter last time. Should be nice and clear for the mic. Moving forward. Oh yeah, I'll move the phone away from the mic so we have no interference with that as well. We'll continue to stream test throughout, make sure everything is stable. Looking good to me. Optimize these emotes for now. We're still celebrating top supporters and such. I think there's plenty of room. plenty of room here in the Chillstone. So anyway, we'll be fine. Royal Hall looking good as well. We have Alucard starting off the leaderboard for 2025 already with 174 bits. Thank you, Mr. Alucard. Just looking here for Magnificent Monday source. I have it in a convenient enough place to be used once a week at least. Let me see here. Magnificent Monday at Bank for Stream, the other featured emotes and all. But yeah, busy weekend, busy times. Hope you've been well since we last saw you on Friday night. Friday night fun. Flowers for Algernon, yeah. January 10th. Now here we are 3 days later from Friday night. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Busy time for me. Finally caught up on some sleep today. I had about 4 hours sleep the last 2 days, so that was rough. There we are. Magnificent Monday. Looking good. Chilling like a villain. Anyway, it'll be good to get started. Little Romeo and Juliet, and then we will see for Flowers for Algernon here shortly. Let's learn a few lines here first, since that will be coming up, yeah, quicker than we expect to be off book already, so it is good to be extra prepared. Was looking some research into Benvolio yesterday. I'm also thinking getting the Zeffirelli version here to watch at some point, so we will see about that in due course. For now, we can learn a few of those lines and things. Whatever makes sense to you. Alright, let's start with a bit of that. I only need the music stand for the book here, since it's a nice, small, compact book compared to Dune over 600 pages. Giant novel, you know, giant books. That type of thing. Alright, but we're all set here, all looking good. Yeah, we'll add our new, we just have the new cheer here, just so we have it here ready. That will be a brand new cheer ready to go. Might as well add that here for cheer menu 3. Let me just get that together real quick so that it's all set. Many things to do. Cheer menu 3 though does not actually have the latest things on it. That's strange. It never got saved. But this one that I have here clearly has it, so that's weird. Let me look for it a bit. Got cheer menu 3. Why doesn't that version have the current one? I guess it never actually saved it? That doesn't make sense. I've had it here for a long time. That's all I can find, though, is the one, yeah, without 71 bits. Keep it in the closet. Strange. Well, I'll just make it again real quick, I guess. Not sure how that happened, but so it is right now. Alright, quick little adjustment for that. So yeah, we had the 71 bits. Keep it in the closet. Let's take care of that here real quick. Even though it's already done, but that's alright. Strange how that would happen, but it's alright, you know? Not that big of a deal. The other version up here. Yeah, that makes it easy. Just line them up like that. Not too bad. I think it's the point across. White Russian drinking here. Alright, we'll save that. Newest version here. Should be fine. Very exciting and optimized things. Take a look. Alright. Nearly there. And now, see, it had a different one there. It's so weird. I actually had a different one somehow. Don't know where it is, but anyway, I'll find that cheer menu here. Shouldn't take too long. The cheer menu. Let's see where it's at. There it is. Cheer menu, whatever reason. Oh, it's the other cheer menu. The new cheer menu, whatever reason, was saved as cheer menu 3, but not. Huh, so strange. Oh, I'll get that together here. For the newest version. Just like that. Alright. We're good to go now. Alright, there's the new cheer anyway. We'll have the live scene. 72 bits for $5. Brand new unveiled tonight. Hopefully that'll keep saved now. Alright, looking good for now. We'll carry on. Take a look at some lines here. And for what I have so far. Pard fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad. Underneath the grove of sycamore, that westward rooteth from this city's side, so early walking did I see your son. Good uncle, do you know the cause? Noble uncle, do you know... Noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love, alas that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. I aim so near when I supposed you loved. Alright, that's where I started to get a bit foggy, so I just work on those dialogue more extensively. You know, it's on like separate scenes, so it should be easier to work on that. Pard fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace, put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Yep, we'll take a little nick on the hand there, get bandaged up. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath... Troubled mind, me to walk abroad. Drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore, that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes, so please you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Righto. Yeah, we did have a good shirt yesterday. I was hoping to stream last night, just a bit too exhausted. And did wear a lovely shirt though. Dragon's Roost shirt, so we'll feature it again soon here live, but for now, saving it, I guess. I'll get some more soon. It's alright. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours. In love, of love, alas that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. See, so then I was skipping ahead. Other things, it's actually no cause I rather weep. Does not now laugh. No cause I rather weep. At thy good heart's oppressions. Yeah, that's where I was trying to get foggy, so it's... Does thou not laugh? No cause I rather weep. Thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you do me wrong... And if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? I am so near when I suppose you love. So skipping all that, just not thinking of the right dialogue track, but I'll get more practice soon. A right fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. So, at thy good heart's oppression, soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. At thy good heart's oppression, soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? This is not Romeo, he's some other where. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. What shall I groan and tell thee? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. I am so near when I suppose you love. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. It'd be fun to watch the other version, the character a little bit different than the way I'd play it, but still fun to watch for some more context and other movie versions and the like. It's got to be great. Well, I didn't log in to mix it up. Let's do that. I'll add some more channel rewards soon from other fun cheer type things, but for now, just wanted that latest actual cheer. I think that'll be fine. Alrighty, Futurescapes is good for Dude. Maybe we'll come back to that before long. We'll see. Absolutely. Going to be great. Here we are. I don't think we need to do much plugging or posting tonight. We'll just focus. The good stuff we have. Hope you enjoyed. It'll be a good time for everything soon enough. No need to plug for now, I think. Let's focus on the task at hand and show our adventures shortly. Not much time today, but more time between rehearsals, hopefully. We'll see. At thy good heart's oppression, soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Grow and why no, but tell me in sadness, who is that you love? I am so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. Alright, we'll eventually get the practice the dialogue a bit more. This should be alright. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. Giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. Interesting. We shall see. Fun indeed. Also have a good Fortnite replay. Had the best round Saturday afternoon between work and the party. Best round of comp that I've had all season. It was exciting, pretty good fun. Ended up on the number 3 position, didn't win, but it was still a good comp round. So we'll show you that replay here soon. It'll be fun. It will be very fun. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her, by examining other beauties. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Yeah, these aren't too hard, difficult dialogue scenes. It's just that need to get more comfortable, familiar with them. Daniel Keyes, 2014. Yeah, I read it in grade school, so it's good years before he died. It was interesting. Hugo and Nebula. It's for Shakespeare. Going to be good. Alright. Okay. So she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Chase. Alright, let's see what we got so far, if we have any weak spots. Pard fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see her son. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Grown, why no? No, cuz I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Grown, why no? But who is that you love? Yeah, so I'm mixing up some of those, just very similar. Tell me in sadness who is that you love. Soft. I forgot. Soft, I will go along. So you do me wrong. Yeah, no, cuz I rather weep. Then it's at thy good heart's oppression. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness who is that you love. Grown, why no? But sadly tell me who. I am so near when I supposed you loved. Right fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. Then she hath sworn that she will have chased. Okay. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. I have to tape this up before tomorrow, too. All these pages that like to come apart. Bit by bit here. They're just coming apart. Not very strong paper, I guess. Laminate. I mean, we didn't even get the paper in a binder to begin with. It was just loose altogether, so. Oh, well, it'll be fine. Not a big deal. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. Dun, 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 dun. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. Grown, why no? But sadly tell me who. Well, I'm missing the poke pro the. But sadly tell me who. Frame drop TikTok. Yeah, I got a first frame trouble doing that. I think it should be fine. I just have the monitor up, so we close that. We don't really need the TikTok broadcast live. Twitch is enough of a stream test, I think. Yep. We don't really need the TikTok broadcast live. Good to go. I mean, we don't need to keep it open, the live itself, you know what I mean? Yep, frame drop looking good. Okay, so yeah, mixing up those ones. I'm forgetting, actually. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Farewell, my cuz. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. That's the one I'm forgetting pretty much. Alright, let's readjust this just for future reference. That's better. Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Grown? Why no? See, those are really similar ones. Grown, why no, but sadly tell me who. Grown, why no, but sadly tell me who. It's similar, but, you know, it's simpler. And that one's throwing me off a little bit. So near when you suppose you love, right for mark for cuz as soon as hit. And she hath sworn that she will still have chased. Alright, we almost got this. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? Wait. But news struck 9. It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. I aim so near when I supposed you loved. No, okay, see? Skipping ahead again. No, cuz I rather weep. Does thou not love? No, cuz I rather weep. At thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness who is that you love. Grow and why no, but sadly tell me who. I am so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. Then she has sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her, by giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. We've almost got it, it's just a few of those couple ones in between that I'm mixing up a little bit. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? No. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so rough and tyrannous in proof. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. Family is eating ice cream constantly. It's disparaging. Anyway. Silly nonsense. We'll get that music accompaniment in just another few minutes. Just trying to overcome this little dialogue hurdle. Then we'll look at maybe just the next couple to start on this. Let's get them more familiar. Plenty of time here. Be fine. Magnificent Monday. Yep. Silly. Okay. Anyway. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love, alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark for a cause is soonest hit. Grow and why no? No cause I rather weep. See, I'm adding all these that aren't even close to it. Those are the next page, not even close. I don't know why I'm skipping so much. So that's why we got to fix that right now. So I stopped learning it the wrong way too. Last that love so gentle in his view should be so rough and tyrannous in proof. No cause I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Because he's trying to leave. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Grow and why no, but sadly tell me who. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her, by giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. For some reason that page is a lot easier for me, it's just the previous one. Having a little trouble. So, alright. Let's see. Nearly there. Points of the mind. Yep. We shall see. To some things. Not so sure. Yeah, maybe we'll just plug before we get to Algernon. It'll be exciting. General. Yep. Get other pictures together soon for business cards and things. I actually have all those pictures. You think about, you know, how to organize them. We have the bank, we have the workplace, and we have programs and all. There's some pictures of those. Okay, this is close enough. I just need the other couple pictures here together. Upload those or post them somewhere. Airplane mode, maybe a good time to do that. Just gonna make sure they're saved and such. So, some of them I have saved. Make sure they're here just to show. For examples, other chatters and things. Find them real quick. That'll be fine. Shall see. When did I go to the bank? Workplace hilarity. Alright, card there. Let me find the other one. Went to the bank. Not sure. I took that picture. So yeah, I'll probably just show it once. I'll show like multiple times. I could, but I think it's just relevant to one question I'll have for other top supporter chatter here. Should be fine. Let me find the bank picture and then we'll be good to go. I went to the bank the other day. Let's see if I can find it. It's hard to remember. Day stuff. There it is. Okay. That wasn't too hard. It's just a matter of looking since Alright, perfect. So yeah, the references, programs, and things, that's basically what I've gotten together here in the Royal Hall. I think I need a separate one just to show, you know, that logo I actually have in the programs and such. It's not really necessary, so I think that's good enough for that. Oh, and I'm having problems on the Facebook chat. There's one there. And the other one I had recently at work. Let me look for that. Should send easy enough on data, just the internet's so slow here, it's not as reliable and steady, but they still have problems even in the city, you know, there's issues. Alright, I had that picture on the desk. Let me find that again before I start another Instagram series. And chin pulling. Other various. Where is it? Oh, there it was a while ago than when I first had it. I met the Navy people. Send. Will you stay sent? Yeah, I can just bring that up on Facebook when I do talk about that top supporter, ask them the question. I can show him multiple examples of what I'm gonna ask him, basically. Boom, 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 boom. Get it all, message boards all over. Everyone is welcome here in the Roost to come chat with us. I mean, it's something to try. I mean, there's a place for everyone. I always say that. Place for everyone here in the Roost. Even if that place is the dungeon, the castle, the courtyard, the throne room, many fun places. So, place for everyone here. All are welcome here in the Roost. Look forward to chat with you soon. We have many fun commands new cheers, voice mod, and stickers, fun avatars for you to enjoy. It's going to be great. Let's get this final dialogue down, and then we will look at just the next couple scenes and start on them. But yeah, I'll have to dedicate probably a whole stream or so to, and also do it off stream. I can't only do it on stream. We're learning the lines, so I try to do it mostly on stream. Definitely at some point I need to do it off stream, and of course get help learning them too. Always makes a big difference in my process. When family or just about anyone can help me learn the lines, it doesn't take a genius to help you read lines, learn lines after all. Anyway, let's keep going for now. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? But news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love, alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Groan, why no? But tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no? But sadly tell me who. So you have to combine those two. I'm thinking they're like separate lines or something. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Okay, those are 3 lines. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no? But sadly tell me who. You know, the more I cement it, the more I finalize it. Shakespeare, you'll just be a little extra, effort into learning the type of speaking. It is just heightened way of speaking. So the more we distinguish it, more distinct lines and things, the easier it'll be. Most definitely. All right. Let's see. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no? But sadly tell me who. There you go. Almost there. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love, alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no? But sadly tell me who. I am so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Let's see if I got it there. I think I was closer there, but it seemed a little quick, Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours. In love, of love, alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no? But sadly tell me who. I aim so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. All right, one more time to make sure we're fully smooth and fully ready to just move on. Yes. Pard fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours, in love, of love, alas that love so gentle in his view should be so rough, tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep, at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. I think we're pretty close there, but just to be certain, I think we're probably on the right, but, it helps to make sure. Part fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace, put up thy sword, or manage to depart these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9, and what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours, in love, of love, alas that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression, soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Grow, and why no, but sadly tell me who. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved, a right fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her, by giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Just be absolutely certain here. Part fools, put up your swords. You know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage to depart these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Noble uncle, do you know the cause? Good morrow, cousin. It was, what sadness lengthens Romeo's hours. In love, of love, alas that love so gentle in his view should be so rough and tyrannous in proof. Alas that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No, cuz, I rather weep, at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Grow, and why no, but sadly tell me who. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cuz, as soon as hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. Yeah, I used to be better at this. It just gets harder over time, so just gotta spend a little extra time, a little extra effort on it, but it'll be fine. I used to get them pretty quick, but, some things deteriorate, decay over time. Anyway, sworn that she was still at the chase. I just wanted to check here. I got out suppression, so I wanted to make sure one of those, but I think we're on the right track, mostly there. I'm gonna get some help and make sure I'm, able to recall it as well. On to the fest, pretty shortly, just a few pages after that, just a couple pages after that. At this same ancient fest of Capulets, sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. At this same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so loves, along with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. At this same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline It's Rosaline. We change it to Rosaline, so I better make sure I get that right too. There's a lot of subtle things like that, pronunciation. You think you know, but then they actually decide, the director decides. If you don't have them right, you're just going to sow discord and less, clarity and less, polishedness in the production. So that's not good. You want to make the performance as great as possible. People are pronouncing things differently, it's confusing. It doesn't add anything to the story except making it less powerful for the character that they're talking about. So generally you all want to be on the same page for pronunciation, unless, there's a specific reason not, but generally you want to have the same pronunciation between characters. So it's Rosaline. I made a note of that. Rosaline. 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 I think I actually wrote it out wrong for phonetically, but Rosaline, I think, is the way we're actually going with. So, at this same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, along with all the admired beauties of Verona. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, and with all the admired beauties of Verona. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some others that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Compare her face with some that I shall show, no others, just I don't know where I'm getting others from, but compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. So, Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. But in that crystal scales weighed, let there be weighed. Yeah, there's a lot of, subtleties of the language. Things like that. But in that ancient fest of Capulets. But in that same ancient fest of Capulets. Okay. Tut, you saw her fair, herself poised with herself. Tut, you saw her fair, none else. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself with herself poised with herself in either eye. But let crystal scales there be weighed, and compare your love for her with some other maid. Your lady's love against some other maid. See, it's a lot of subtle thing. It's not something you can really instantly learn. It takes a bit more, unless very well versed in Shakespeare, which I'm definitely not very well versed, just somewhat familiar. I couldn't say I'm, very much a Shakespeare expert, just, more than the average person for sure. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Let me see. At the same ancient fest of Capulets Sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, along with all the admired. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. With... How is that one hard? With all the admired beauties of Verona. With all the admired beauties of Verona. Yeah, my brain been addled over the years. I need to regenerate it. Recuperate it. At least, I don't do anything to decay it any further. I mean, that definitely wouldn't help. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, I will show you. Compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Yeah, I'm forgetting compare her face. I'm thinking about other verb or, action to it. At this same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Yeah, the approach the actor did for the movie in the 60s or so, it's a bit different. He was a bit more of a lighthearted, less of a fighter. He was just kind of more of a poet than a swordsman or so. He's just, a lighter type of character. He's, I don't know. I was also examining, like, the writing. The character itself is more of to move the story along, he uses him as, like, a story device, less of a main character, but that's all fun. It's, he's still part of the cast, part of the characters. It's fun. It's good fun. Pretty fun. Alright, let me see. We're kind of bit by bit, it's nothing you can just instantly remember, instantly commit to memory, so it's good we're taking the time. While we have it, get more familiar. Yeah, this is pretty much it for that scene that we have further, so I guess we'll just finish on this scene, and I do have a few pages before the next one, so we'll get all these here for tonight, then we'll be moving on to our novel here about the 1 hour mark coming up here soon. Anyway, gonna be good. At this same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Did I remember with all the admired beauties of Verona? Is that in there? Okay. Tut, you saw her fair, herself. Yeah, this one is harder for some reason. It's just fancier wording, Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Tut, you saw her fair, herself. Why is that so hard? Yeah. Tut, you saw her fair, and none else being by. Tut, you saw her fair, and none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. The second line's easier. Herself poised with herself in either eye. It's the first one, just kind of the way it's broken up. Tut, you saw her fair, and none else being by. Just not something I would say, in normal context. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. I mean, I would say it differently. I wouldn't say it that way. That's just, the older language to it, so it's all right. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall show well that now seems best. So we have here, 6 lines, so make sure to learn them 2 by 2, I guess. So we have, that's all in one sentence is the thing, so I shouldn't really break that up. I should learn that together, so. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest. And then there's a comma, so, it's a little bit of a break. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, and that I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. Tut, you saw her fair. God. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales, let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Yeah, this is pretty much the most difficult type of stuff you can learn, besides like a whole new language, but then you would learn it phonetically and you would know what it's saying. Like this, I know basically what it's saying, but it's still different, It takes time and effort, and I'm just not the most patient guy around. It's alright. Let's see. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that she shall now show well at this fest, and she shall scant... I'm mixing that. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. That's just, a mouthful. It is a bit, so... Oh, we'll get there bit by bit here. We will get there. We also have our Targaryen wine ready for you. Bean Boozle ready for you. Other wine I'll open when we start playing Hunt More. It's uppercut wine. I'm excited to crack that open one of these days. And a whole lot of whiskey once a month. I'll probably enjoy whiskey once we start streaming from the better internet. We'll see. Yeah, if I'm just gonna drink once a month, it's gotta be a lot, so we'll see. But it does take a lot to get me drunk. I don't get drunk very easily. No, I do sometimes. Okay, that might be a little naive to say. Anyway, we'll discuss that later. For now, I just think of the parties and such. I guess, them being at the Capulets, the Capels are abroad. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, we'll get there. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. It's really not that hard. I'm just having trouble processing it, It's really not that difficult, though. It would be if you're, not well versed in the verse. Well, we'll see. Slap in the face, all these bastards on Discord. Slapping us in the face. Pretty gosh dang ridiculous. Anyway. It's going to be great. Going to be magnificent. Totally magnificent. Let's see. We shall see. Yeah, this one. It's literally the last one. There's only 2 paragraphs in the whole scene. Well, not the scene, but this part of the scene. And then we come back later for come knocking in there. No scene, but every man but take him to his legs. There's a few pages before that, so we'll get to that next time. Alright, Almost there. Just need to finalize it, and then we should be good for now. Should be pretty good for now, at least to sleep on it and work on it more soon. What I have so far, it's, you know, a good place to start with what I have so far. Just not that many pages we've learned. We don't have many weeks until we're supposed to be off books, so should have been working on this more gradually the last few months, actually. I just, you know, was doing Dune, I was doing other things. We were reading it instead of starting to learn it. We're getting more familiar with how I would read it, not how the director wants you to read it, so we already read the whole play on stream too, so that's alright. At the same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, and all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, and in that crystal scales be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. And she shall scant that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. She shall scant show well that now seems best. I just have to trust myself more to know, you know, I'm just doubting myself, and that's not helping. Yeah. Did I say in 8 minutes here we're going to be moving on already? That didn't happen. It's already the 1 hour mark. Alright, a few more minutes. We almost got this. Yeah, time slips away. Sometimes, you know, I just lose track of time. It happens. At the same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, and all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. All these Discord people, absolutely ridiculous. Silly Discord degenerates. Insolence. It's just insolence. I don't know how else to describe it. Some are more insolent than others, but most of them are pretty dang insolent. Ugh. The titles and things. Anyway. It's alright. Get our main supporters. And, thinking about, you know, the 4 supporters there. And Fable out here, a la carte extra one there. I don't know. Just not as much room in a scene as I think, I guess. I think I can add like layers upon layers in a scene. There's not that much room. For most things, you just gotta compartmentalize. So eventually I'm hoping to have you like more premium goals and things to actually have, you know, them just like popping up occasionally, but we'll have most of the screen just free. Just me and the adventure basically on the stream, but you know, have them pop up little 3D nice riding, or ideally I can smoke and flames, like little flame tags. That would be nice, just pop up, you know, instead of the goals, so like Dragon Champions and Bit Goal or Sticker Party, things like that. That would be more ideal. We shall see. Dang, that $10 sticker party has been going more than 6 months, though. It's rough. Stuff like that. Oh well, it's alright. Focus on the positive, good things. Just glad to be here in the first place, that's for sure. There's a whole lot worse places we can be than here, so grateful to come home to the roost. Enjoy our time that we have. Make the most of it, make good choices in our lives, defending the innocent, being brave, loyal, courteous, charitable, and honorable. Good courtesy, good honor, all things we can do. Gonna continue our White Knight Arthur playthrough, second playthrough Baldur's Gate. Good and evil, good dichotomies of morals, virtues, and vices. It's gonna be great. All in good time. Well, Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't matter much because that game just so hard in the first place. See if we have a couple hours for that tonight, or at least an hour. We'll see. At the same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show. Wait. At the same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline whom thou so loves, and all the admired beauties of Verona. See, I'm just leaving it out because I don't subconsciously like it for some reason. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw herself being by... you saw her being... You saw her fair. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by herself. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by herself. Poised with herself in either eye. Herself poised with herself in either eye. My slow data. Slow. It's not cold, it's just... Yeah. Dang, data slow as freaking anything. So none of the stickers are loading at all. Gosh dang it. It just doesn't work. There it is. Oh, this same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show. And I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair herself. What? None else being... Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. It's not that hard. Why is this one so hard? That's the only one that's stumping me, just this one little paragraph. Everything else is pretty much smooth. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. My shiny buttons, sorry about that. Anyway, we're here. We are good to go. Oh, good. That's a nice emote wall, actually.
Johnny! Hello.
Funny people. The funny people in cartoons. People who would rather be cartoons than humans, I can actually understand that. I mean, can't really judge them when I felt that way sometimes myself, probably. Okay. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Herself poised with herself in either eye. 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 But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. Your lady's love against some other maid. Your lady's love against some other maid. That I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. And in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that she shall scant show well at this fest, and she will scant show well that now seems best. And I'll show you shining at this fest. Now we gotta put it together, you know. Tut, you saw her fair, herself none else. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Almost got it there, yes. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, your lady's love against some other maid. No. See, I'm skipping stuff again. Oh, my goodness. All right, give me a minute here. Give me a minute. Oh, my goodness. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Oh, dear. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But I shall show you, but crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that she shall scant show well shining at this fest, and she will compare now seems best. Still missing a few pieces of it. Let me see here. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Let me see, one breath, yep. Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear. Yeah, I just need to get up on my feet for now. My leg is hurting today. All the radiation from my phone, no doubt. I need to switch pockets again, I guess. I used to have it in my left pocket, then I put it in my right pocket. Just alternate back and forth, equally radiate both, you know. Yeah, my left leg used to hurt because the phone was there for so long. Now it's in the right leg for so long. Now that one's hurting, so I guess the best I can do is switch back and forth, radiate it every couple years. Let me see. Oh. Alright, give me 1 second here. Okay. Dear, this is just the hardest paragraph yet, I guess. That I will show you shining at this fest. That I will show you shining at this fest. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. So poised with herself in either eye. But let their crystal scales be weighed. Dang. Self-poised with herself in either eye. She just got so well that now seems best. I'm drawing this actual one was printed. It's not saying. Actual book. A few pages at the end to write your own notes, I guess. Oh, very last pages I see there. He goes back to spelling wrong. Not that I didn't already know that, you know, spoil the ending. I know what happens, basically. Sorry. Oh, dear. This is a tricky one. Yeah, I'm glad I counted it early, because if I had just saved it for later, it would have been any easier, probably. That I'll show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. It's not that hard, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. And she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself being paired with herself, herself poised with herself, herself poised with herself in either eye, herself poised with herself in either eye. Herself poised with herself on either eye. Herself poised with herself on either eye. My goodness. Stuff is a little ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Oh, the frustration that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant know well that now seems best. No, show well, not know well. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. We finally got it. I think we finally got it. Alright, let's see if we can keep it. Part fools, put up your swords. You know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worship sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad. Underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from this city side, so early walking did I see your son. Noble uncle, do you know the cause? See where he comes. So please you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9? It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love? Of love, no cause I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you lead me so, you do me wrong. If you lead me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan? Why no, but sadly tell me who. I aim so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair coz, is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Examine other beauties. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. At this same ancient festive Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Yeah, we really haven't learned that much yet. It's a process, that's why it's good to start as early as possible. Sorts of things. Where were we? At the same ancient festive Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and all the admired beauties of Verona. We can't forget the admired beauties of Verona. At the same ancient festive Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, and all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that she will show while shining at this fest, and she shall scant know which now seems best. Oh, almost got that. Okay. What is this? Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. in either eye. Yeah, it's just so tricky. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall know well that now seems best. That I will there's show twice. See, that's what's confusing. I think it's show only once. It's show like 2 lines in a row, 2 sentences, 2 parts of the sentence. You say the same word twice. That's what was confusing me. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall show well that now seems best. That's confusing me that there's show twice in a row, basically. Yeah. That's what's happening there. Good fun, Solaria. Oh, man. Almost there. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. Yeah, I don't care about the timestamp, just there extra. That's not relevant, though. There we go. Beautiful Solaria with the Founder Badge, one of our first 10 Dragon Champions ever. It was 4 years ago. Very exciting. Solaria with the yellow baby dragon. Thank you for keeping the chat curse at bay for the evening for a magnificent Monday. Have a great night. Thank you for that lovely dragon night as well. Awesome stream. Yep, always with you, Solaria. It'll be always an awesome stream. Gonna try out Path of Exile. I think myself, we've done some Grim Dawn lately. I think I'm gonna play probably the second Path of Exile when I get better internet in a couple months here. Well, actually moving to better internet. It's not that I'm getting better internet, but I'm moving to where there is better internet. So we'll see. Anyway. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall know well that now seems best. She shall show well that now seems best. See, I want to say no for some reason. She shall show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall show well that now seems best. Can we do it one more time here? Pard fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side. So early walking did I see your son. Noble uncle, do you know the cause? Good, see where he comes. So please you step aside. I'll know his grievance, or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin. But news struck 9. It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? In love, of love. Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so rough and tyrannous, and rough in proof. No cause I rather weep, at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong. Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Be ruled by me. She hath sworn that she will still live chaste. Forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt. At this same ancient fest of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid. And I will show you shining at this fest, her love, that scant now she seems best. I can't get that last line. That's the one. That got all the way to the very end, just the final step. That I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best, and she shall scant show well that now seems best, and she shall scant show well that now seems best, and she shall scant show well that now seems best, and she shall scant show well that now seems best, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, and I will show you shining at this fest that she shall scant show well that now seems best. Close enough. Part fools, put up your swords, you know not what you do. I do but keep the peace, put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me. Madam, an hour before the worship's sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from this city side, so early walking did I see her sun. So early walking did I see her sun. Spoilers on the back of this book too, my goodness. Noble uncle, do you know the cause? Noble uncle, do you know the cause? Okay, good morrow, cousin. See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin, but news struck 9. It was, what saddest lengthens Romeo's hours. In love, of love, alas that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof. No cause I rather weep at thy good heart's oppression. Soft I will go along, and if you lead me so, you do me wrong. Sadly, tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? That was the second time. Nice. That was the second time after the music. Who's that again? It's Robert Cedar's smart. Very nice.
I remember a song like in a dream.
Nice.
Winter unreal. Why, oh why, my God above, have you abandoned me in my sobriety? Behind the old facade, I'm your bewildered child. So take me across the river. Why?
Really good. Yeah, I finally got to sing the Christmas song this weekend. Didn't get to on Christmas. Alright, so where are we there? Tell me in sadness, who is that you love? Groan, why no, but sadly tell me who. I aim so near when I supposed you loved. A right fair mark, fair cause is soonest hit. Then she hath sworn that she will still have chased. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt. At this same ancient fest of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her, and with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. I don't know why I keep forgetting all the admired beauties of Verona. Make thee think thy swan a crow. Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by. Herself poised with herself in either eye. But in thy crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this fest, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. Alright, we're good for that so far. That's, the first quarter, first half of my lines, but it's a good start for now. We are finally at the hour 40-minute mark on to Flowers of Algernon. So we'll do a quick little plug for that, and we'll get started. Gonna be great. Alright, let's see how that came out. Not that I'm gonna do multiple takes or anything. Pretty good fun there. Let's see what's next. Just a quick little link, quick little attention getter. It'll be good to continue. When you're your own manager, your own producer, all that, you have to do a few extra things. URL. I was confused with the sticker text. And now it's not letting me do that. Goodness. Oh, there it is. Okay. Put that at the bottom, I guess. Alright, good for now. Good enough. Gets the point across. And if I do it on another Instagram and Facebook.
Romulus director has confirmed that the
Haven't seen Romulus yet. I'll watch it later. I get copyright for these Instagram songs. Oh no. Already got Bambi earlier, probably Camelot
The Alien
too.
Romulus director has confirmed that the version of
Alright, let me see. Almost there. Main Instagram. I just will post to the personal Instagram. So I have more followers there over the years than my public Instagram, ironically. I don't know. how that stuff works. I don't know how any of that stuff even works. Alright, we're almost ready here. Almost there. Just the data being slow. Alright. Make sure that's highlighted at least once. I think that'll do it. We left off. 2 bookmarks now. Family reading it also. We left off with, on the middle of the log here. Reinform the convention committee, present the paper Chicago. It was dark and I walked a long time trying to figure out why I was so frightened. I was seeing them clearly for the first time, not gods or even heroes. Forgot that I'm the senior member of this project. You can make it really easy, just, check what we actually read at the end of last stream. Sometimes that's best. I know I'm on like the same page, but just, continuity's sake, we actually have the timestamps in the description and all. Let me make sure here that we're actually on the right track.
You get home, you always want the best quality advantage that you can
Almost there.
find, and I recommend it being, exactly, like proper medical looking stuff. You know what I mean? It's better than like a rip sheet. Yeah, what's up, Ace? Good to see you, man. I am Denzel, and this is Rabbit. We're teaching.
Alright. Almost there. I really do pity people who are on Discord who don't use the streamer mode. Purple activity. Alright, just for easy continuity's sake, we'll see the last thing we actually read here. I think that's a good idea for this. We're only doing this probably in 3 parts. Or maybe 4 parts, maybe 5 parts. I didn't get his time to have the new cheers tonight, but we'll get to that for you next time. It's gonna be great. Alright, maybe that is a good place to leave it. We'll probably do this in 2 or 3 parts here. If Nemo is right, Speaking of,
and the experiment is a success, what does it matter? There's so much to do, so many plans to make.
let's see.
I'll wait until tomorrow to ask them about taking Miss Kinney into a movie to celebrate my raise.
Yeah, I remember that. Uh-huh.
Alright, maybe
That was
is a good place
exactly
to
where we
leave
left
it.
off for April 26th. So yeah, perfect place to pick it up on. Let us now continue. Flowers for Algernon. Alright. Quick moment to prepare. Look forward to chat with you soon. Solaria has kept the chat curse at bay for the entire evening, so that is indeed much appreciated. Without that, we might go a little insane in a chat curse. Thank you, Solaria. Now back to flowers for Algernon. Hope you enjoy. Love to chat with you, get some voice mod activations. I don't think we've ever had a voice mod activation during actual reading, but we've come close, other similar things, commentary. Anyway, looking good for now. Maybe one more stream test. Make sure we're steady, stable, good to go. Reading, but we've come close, Yeah, I like the new mic limiter. It seems good before the red. The red isn't quite activated. Maybe for the better internet, we'll put it in the red again, but for now, we're in good shape in the yellow. And here we begin at the hour 47 mark. Flowers for Algernon. I'll wait until tomorrow to ask them about taking Miss Kinney to a movie to celebrate my raise. April 26th. I knew I shouldn't hang around the college when I'm through at the lab, but seeing the young men and women going back and forth carrying books and hearing them talk about all the things they're learning in their classes excites me. I wish I could sit and talk with them over coffee in the campus bowl luncheonette when they get together to argue about books and politics and ideas. It's exciting to hear them talking about poetry and science and philosophy, about Shakespeare and Milton, Newton and Einstein and Freud, about Plato and Hegel and Kant, and all the other names that echo like great church bells in my mind. Sometimes I listen in on the conversations at the tables around me and pretend I'm a college student, even though I'm a lot older than they are. Not that old. I carry books around and I've started to smoke a pipe. It's silly, but since I belong at the lab, I feel as if I'm a part of the university. I hate to go home to that lonely room. April 27th. I've made friends with some of the boys at the campus bowl. They were arguing about whether or not Shakespeare really wrote Shakespeare's plays. One of the boys, the fat one with the sweaty face, said that Marlowe wrote all of Shakespeare's plays, but Lenny, the short kid with the dark glasses, didn't believe that business about Marlowe. And he said that everyone knew that Sir Francis Bacon wrote the plays because Shakespeare had never been to college and never had the education that shows up in those plays. That's when one with the freshman beanie said he had heard a couple of guys in the men's room talking about how Shakespeare's plays were really written by a lady. And they talked about politics and art and God. I never before heard anyone say that there might not be a God. That frightened me because for the first time I began to think about what God means. Now I understand one of the important reasons for going to college and getting an education is to learn that the things you've believed in all your life aren't true, and that nothing is what it appears to be. All the time they talked and argued, I felt the excitement bubble up inside me. This was what I wanted to do, go to college and hear people talk about important things. I spend most of my free time at the library now, reading and soaking up what I can from books. I'm not concentrating on anything in particular, just reading a lot of fiction now. Dostoevsky, Flaubert, Dickens, Hemingway, Faulkner, everything I can get my hands on, feeding a hunger that can't be satisfied. April 28th. In a dream last night I heard Mom screaming at Dad and the teacher at the elementary school, PS13, my first school before they transferred me to PS222. He's normal, he'll grow up like other people, better than others. She was trying to scratch the teacher, but Dad was holding her back. He'll go to college someday, he'll be somebody, she kept screaming it, clawing at Dad so he'd let go of her. He'll go to college someday and he'll be somebody. We were in the principal's office and there were a lot of people looking embarrassed, but the assistant principal was smiling and turning his head so no one would see it. The principal in my dream had a long beard and was floating around the room and pointing at me. He'll have to go to a special school. Put him in the Warren State Home and Training School. We can't have him here. Dad was pulling Mom out of the principal's office. And she was shouting and crying too. I didn't see her face, but her big red teardrops kept splashing down on me. This morning I could recall the dream, but now there's more than that. I can remember through the blur. Back to when I was 6 years old and it all happened, just before Norma was born. Hey, Alucard, doing alright? Glad you could join us. You ready for your first sticker tonight? We are closest we've ever been to that sticker party after 6 months, so try some text-to-speech. I think you'd enjoy that. I see Mom, a thin, dark-haired woman who talks too fast and uses her hands too much. As always, her face is blurred. Her hair is up in a bun, and her hand goes to touch it, pat it smooth, as if has to make sure it's still there. Probably get some Kingdom Come Deliverance afterward, Alucard. It'll be great fun. Coming up, that struggle of the game, but it's gonna be good. We'll look forward to it. And, how about you? How are you doing? On this fine, magnificent Monday, I guess Tuesday for you. Terrific Tuesday already for you. I remember that she was always fluttering like a big white bird around my father, and he too heavy and tired to escape her pecking. Speaking of, birds, I did see the kookaburra at the zoo here, Alucard. Thought of you, of course. Very beautiful kookaburra. And he was singing a bit, so share the videos of him later if you'd like. I did post to the Snapchat spotlight, so we'll make sure you see that at some point if you're interested. Celebrating Solaria tonight, our new champion of 24 months. That's, 2-year mark. She just hit the 2-year mark tonight. Wow, didn't realize that. 24-month resub. She's right on, tied up with you, Alucard. You'll be having your 2-year badge here on the next one too, so very exciting. I see Charlie standing in the center of the kitchen, playing with his spinner. Bright-colored beads and rings threaded on a string. He holds the string up in one hand, turns the rings so they wind and unwind in bright, spinning flashes. He spends long hours watching his spinner. I don't know who made it for him, or what became of it, but I see him standing there fascinated at the string as the string untwists and sets the rings spinning. She is screaming at him. No, she's screaming at his father. I'm not going to take him. There's nothing wrong with him. Rose, it won't do any good pretending any longer that nothing is wrong. Just look at him, Rose. 6 years old, and he's not a dummy. He's normal. He'll be just like everyone else. He looks sadly at his son with the spinner, and Charlie smiles and holds it up to show him how pretty it is when it goes around and around. Put that thing away! Mom shrieks, and suddenly she knocks the spinner from Charlie's hand, and it crashes across the kitchen floor. Go play with your alphabet blocks. He stands there, frightened by the sudden outburst. He cowers, not knowing what she will do. His body begins to shake. They're arguing, and the voices back and forth make a squeezing pressure inside of him, and a sense of panic. Charlie, go to the bathroom. Don't you dare do it in your pants. He wants to obey her, but his legs are too soft to move. His arms go up automatically to ward off blows. For God's sake, Rose, leave him alone. You've got him terrified. You always do this. And the poor kid. Then why don't you help me? I have to do it all by myself. Every day I try to teach him, to help him catch up to the others. He's just slow, that's all, but he can learn like everyone else. You're fooling yourself, Rose. It's not fair to us or to him, pretending he's normal, driving him as if he were an animal that could learn to do tricks. Why don't you leave him alone? Because I want him to be like everyone else. As they argue, the feeling that grips Charlie's insides become greater. His bowels feel as if they will burst, and he knows he should go to the bathroom as she has told him so often. But he can't walk. He feels like sitting down right there in the kitchen, but it is wrong, and she will slap him. He wants his spinner. If he has his spinner and he watches it going round and round, he will be able to control himself and not make in his pants. But the spinner is all apart, with some of the rings under the table and some under the sink, and the cord is near the stove. It is very strange that although I can recall the voices clearly, their faces are still blurred, and I can see only general outlines. Dad, massive and slumped, Mom, thin and quick. Hearing from them now, arguing with each other across the years, I have the impulse to shout at them. Look at him! There, down there! Look at Charlie! He has to go to the toilet! Charlie stands clutching and pulling at his red checkered shirt as they argue over him. The words are angry sparks between them, an anger and a guilt he can't identify. Next September, he's going to go back to PS13 and do the terms work over again. Why can't you let yourself see the truth? The teacher says he's not capable of doing the work in a regular class. That bitch of a teacher? Oh, I've got better names for her. Let her start with me again and I'll do more than just write to the Board of Education. I'll scratch the dirty slut's eyes out. Charlie, why are you twisting like that? Go to the bathroom. Go by yourself. You know how to go. Can't you see he wants you to take him? He's frightened. Keep out of this. He's perfectly capable of going to the bathroom himself. The book says it's given him confidence and a feeling of achievement. The terror that waits in the cold tile room overwhelms him. He's afraid to go there alone. He reaches up for her hand and sobs out, "Toy, toy," and she slaps his hand away. "No more," she says sternly. "You're a big boy now. You can go by yourself. Now march right into the bathroom and pull your pants down the way I taught you. I warn you, if you make in your pants, you'll get spanked." I can almost feel it now. The stretching and nodding in his intestines as the two of them stand over him, waiting to see what he will do. His whimper becomes a soft crying as suddenly he can control no longer, and he sobs and covers his face with his hands as he dirties himself. It is soft and warm, and he feels the confusion of relief and fear. It is his, but she will take it away from him as she always does. She will take it away and keep it for herself, and she will spank him. She comes toward him, screaming that he is a bad boy, and Charlie runs to his father for help. Suddenly I remember that her name is Rose, and his name is Matt. It's odd to have forgotten your parents' names. And what about Norma? Strange. I haven't thought of her. Haven't thought about them all for a long time. I wish I could see Matt's face now, to know what he was thinking at that moment. All I remember is that as she began to spank me, Matt Gordon turned and walked out of the apartment. I wish I could see their faces more clearly. 39 degrees out. Still working on that text-to-speech there, Alucard. You'll get it, champion. Progress Report 11. May 1st. Why haven't I ever noticed how beautiful Alice Kinnian is? She has pigeon soft brown eyes and feathery brown hair down to the hollow of her neck. When she smiles, her full lips look as if she's pouting. We went to a movie and then to dinner. I didn't see much of the first picture because I was too conscious of her sitting next to me. Twice her bare arm touched mine on the armrest, and both times the fear that she would become annoyed made me pull back. All I could think about was her soft skin just inches away. Then I saw, 2 rows ahead of us, a young man with his arms around his girl, and I wanted to put my arm around Miss Kinnian. Terrifying. But if I did it slowly, first resting my arm on the back of her seat, moving up inch by inch to rest near her shoulders and the back of her neck, casually, I didn't dare. The best I could do was rest my elbow on the back of her seat, but by the time I got there, I had to shift position to wipe the perspiration off my face and neck. Once her leg accidentally brushed against mine. It became such an ordeal, so painful, that I forced myself to take my mind off her. The first picture had been a war film, and all I caught was the ending where the GI goes back to Europe to marry the woman who saved his life. The second picture interested me, a psychological film about a man and woman apparently in love, but actually destroying each other. Everything suggests that the man is going to kill his wife, but at the last moment, something she screams out in a nightmare makes him recall something that happened to him during his childhood. The sudden memory shows him that his hatred is really directed at a depraved governess who had terrified him with frightening stories and left a flaw in his personality. Excited at discovering this, he cries out with joy so that his wife awakens. He takes her in his arms, and the implication is that all his problems have been solved. It was pat and cheap, and I must have shown my anger because Alice wanted to know what was wrong. It's a lie, I explained as we walked out into the lobby. Things just don't happen that way. Of course not, she laughed. It's a world of make-believe. Oh no, that's no answer, I insisted. Even in the world of make-believe, there have to be rules. The parts have to be consistent and belong together. That kind of picture is a lie. Things are forced to fit because the writer or the director or somebody wanted something and that didn't belong, and it doesn't feel right. She looked at me thoughtfully as we walked out into the bright, dazzling night lights of Times Square. You're coming along fast. Times Square, huh? Must have been, well, simpler in those days when it's set in. I'm confused. I don't know what I want anymore. Never mind that, she insisted. You're beginning to see and understand things. She waved her hand to take in all of the neon and glitter around us as we crossed over to 7th Avenue. You're beginning to see what's behind the surface of things. What you say about the parts having to belong together, that was a pretty good insight. Oh, come on now. I don't feel as if I'm accomplishing anything. I don't understand about myself or my past. I don't even know where my parents are or what they look like. Do you know that when I see them in a flash of memory or in a dream, the faces are a blur? I want to see their expressions. I can't understand what's going on unless I can see their faces. Charlie, calm down. People were turning to stare. She slipped her arm through mine and pulled me close to restrain me. Be patient. Don't forget you're accomplishing in weeks what takes others a lifetime. You're a giant sponge soaking in knowledge. Soon you'll begin to connect things up, and you'll see how all the different worlds of learning are related. All the levels, Charlie, like steps on a giant ladder, and you'll climb higher and higher to see more and more of the world around you. As we entered the cafeteria on 45th Street and picked up our trays, she spoke animatedly. Ordinary people, she said, can see only a little bit. They can't change much or go any higher than they are, but you're a genius. You'll keep going up and see more and more. And each step will reveal worlds you never even knew existed. People on the line who heard her turned to stare at me, and only when I nudged her to stop did she lower her voice. I just hope to God, she whispered, that you don't get hurt. For a little while after that, I didn't know what to say. We ordered our food at the counter and carried it to our table and ate without talking. The silence made me nervous. I knew what she meant about her fear, so I joked about it. Why should I get hurt? I couldn't be any worse off than I was before. Even Algernon is still smart, isn't he? As long as he's up there, I'm in good shape. She toyed with her knife, making circular depressions in a part of butter, and the movement hypnotized me. And besides, I told her, I overheard something. Professor Nemur and Dr. Strauss were arguing, and Nemur says he's positive that nothing can go wrong. I hope so, she said. You have no idea how afraid I've been that something might go wrong. I feel partly responsible. She saw me staring at the knife and she put it down carefully beside her plate. I never would have done it but for you, I said. She laughed and it made me tremble. That's when I saw that her eyes were soft brown. She looked down at the tablecloth quickly and blushed. Thank you, Charlie, she said and took my hand. It was the first time anyone had ever done that, and it made me bolder. I leaned forward, holding onto her hand, and the words came out. I like you very much. After I said it, I was afraid she'd laugh, but she nodded and smiled. I like you too, Charlie. But it's more than liking. What I mean is, hell, I don't know what I mean. I knew I was blushing and I didn't know where to look or what to do with my hands. I dropped a fork, and when I tried to retrieve it, I knocked over a glass of water and it spilled on her dress. Suddenly I had become clumsy and awkward again, and when I tried to apologize, I found my tongue had become too large for my mouth. "That's all right, Charlie," she tried to reassure me. "It's only water. Don't let it upset you this way." In the taxi on the way home, we were silent for a long time, and then she put down her purse and straightened my tie and puffed up my breast pocket handkerchief. "You were very upset tonight, Charlie." "I feel ridiculous." "I upset you by talking about it. I made you self-conscious." "It's not that. What bothers me is that I can't put into words the way I feel. These feelings are new to you. Not everything has to be put into words." I moved closer to her and tried to take her hand again, but she pulled away. "No, Charlie, I don't think this is good for you. I've upset you and it might have a negative effect." When she put me off, I felt awkward and ridiculous at the same time. It made me angry with myself, and I pulled back to my side of the seat and stared out the window. I hated her as I had never hated anyone before, with her easy answers and maternal fussing. I wanted to slap her face and make her crawl, and then to hold her in my arms and kiss her. "Charlie, I'm sorry if I've upset you." "Forget it. But you've got to understand what's happening." "I understand," I said, "and I'd rather not talk about it." By the time the cab reached her apartment on 77th Street, I was thoroughly miserable. Hello, Tomboy. Mostly readings and commentary, medieval fantasy type games. Yep, followed us on March of last year. I'm not sure what game we were playing in March of last year. But played some Hunt Showdown, some Chivalry, played Kingdom Come Deliverance, Skyrim, a little more Hand of Fate, Red Dead Redemption, and Gladiator type games. Good to see you in any case. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, a bit of bounty hunting. Played some Overwatch 2 over the years. Since open beta. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get to hunt when the internet's better. Right now it's a little hard on point 80 upload and 10 download to play that on stream. Even off stream. Oh well, that's alright. It was in the past, Tomboy. No big deal. Yeah, he probably deserved it, gotta admit. No big deal. What's in the past, in the past. By the time the cab reached that miserable... "Look," she said, "this is my fault. I shouldn't have gone out with you tonight." "Yes, I see this now. What I mean is, we have no right to put this on a personal, emotional level. You have so much to do. I have no right to come into your life at this time. That's my worry, isn't it?" "Is it? This isn't your private affair anymore, Charlie. You've got obligations now, not only to Professor Nemur and Dr. Strauss, but to the millions who may follow in your footsteps." The more she talked that way, the worse I felt. The worse I felt. She highlighted my awkwardness, my lack of knowledge about the right things to say and do. I was a blundering adolescent in her eyes, and she was trying to let me down easy. As we stood at the door to her apartment, she turned and smiled at me for a moment. I thought she was going to invite me in, but she just whispered, "Good night, Charlie. Thank you for a wonderful evening." I wanted to kiss her goodnight. I had worried about it earlier. Didn't a woman expect you to kiss her? And the novels I'd read and the movies I'd seen, the man makes the advances. I had decided last night that I would kiss her. But I kept thinking, what if she turns me down? I moved closer and reached for her shoulders, but she was too quick for me. She stopped me and took my hand in hers. We better just say goodnight this way, Charlie. We can't let this get personal. Not yet. And before I could protest or ask what she meant by not yet, she started inside. Good night, Charlie, and thank you again for a lovely, lovely time. And closed the door. I was furious at her, myself, and the world, but by the time I got home, I realized she was right. Now I don't know whether she cares for me or if she was just being kind. What could she possibly see in me? What makes it so awkward is that I've never experienced anything like this before. How does a person go about learning how to act toward another person? How does a man learn how to behave toward a woman? The books don't help much. But next time, I'm going to kiss her goodnight. Thank you, Alucard. Coming to our defense. Yep, I've dealt with bullies all my life, every year of school that I've been in, so Tomboy is no exception. Just another guy trying to get a rise out of you for no reason. Trying to bring you down to to their level. Not a big deal. That's alright. One of the things that confuses me is never really knowing when something comes up from my past. Whether it really happened that way, or if that was the way it seemed to be at the time, or if I'm inventing it. I'm like a man who's been half asleep all his life, trying to find out what he was like before he wakes up. Everything is strangely slow motion and blurred. I had a nightmare last night, and when I woke up I remembered something. First the nightmare, I'm running down a long corridor, half blinded by the swirls of dust. At times I run forward and then I float around and run backwards. But I'm afraid because I'm hiding something in my pocket. I don't know what it is or where I got it, but I know they want to take it away from me, and that frightens me. The wall breaks down and suddenly there is a red-haired girl with her arms outstretched to me. Her face is a blank mask. She takes me into her arms, kisses and caresses me, and I want to hold her tightly, but I'm afraid. The more she touches me, the more frightened I become because I know I must never touch a girl. Then, as her body rubs up against mine, I feel a strange bubbling and throbbing inside me that makes me warm. But when I look up, I see a bloody knife in her hands. I try to scream as I run, but no sound comes out of my throat, and my pockets are empty. I search in my pockets, but I don't know what it is I've lost or why I was hiding it. I know only that it's gone, and there is blood on my hands, too. When I woke up, I thought of Alice, and I had the same feeling of panic as in the dream. What am I afraid of? Something about the knife? I made myself a cup of coffee and smoked a cigarette. I'd never had a dream like it before, and I knew it was connected with my evening with Alice. I have begun to think of her in a different way. Free association is still difficult because it's hard not to control the direction of your thoughts, just to leave your mind open and let anything flow into it. Ideas bubbling to the surface like a bubble bath. A woman bathing, a girl, Norma taking a breath. I am watching through the keyhole, and when she gets out of the tub to dry herself, I see that her body is different from mine. Something is missing. Let me check on one similar thing, actually. Okay. Good for now, but we'll keep checking. I've been missing some of those lately, so we'll find it another time. It's alright. That's fine. No big deal. Running down the hallway, somebody chasing me, not a person, just a big flashing kitchen knife, and I'm scared and crying, but no voice comes out because my neck is cut and I'm bleeding. Mama, Charlie is peeking at me through the keyhole. Why is she different? What happened to her? Blood, bleeding, a dark cubbyhole. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Do you ever see such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Charlie, alone in the kitchen early in the morning. Everyone else is asleep, and he amuses himself playing with his spinner. One of the buttons pop off his shirt as he bends over, and it rolls across the intricate line pattern of the kitchen linoleum. It rolls toward the bathroom, and he follows, but then he loses it. Where is the button? He goes into the bathroom to find it. There is a closet in the bathroom where the clothes hamper is, and he likes to take out all the clothes and look at them. His father's things and his mother's, and Norma's dresses. He would like to try them on and make believe he is Norma. But once when he did that, his mother spanked him for it. There in the clothes hamper he finds Norma's underwear with dried blood. What has she done wrong? He was terrified. Whoever had done it, it might come looking for him. Why does a memory like that from childhood remain with me so strongly, and why does it frighten me now? Is it because of my feelings for Alice? Thinking about it now, I can understand why I was taught to keep away from women. It was wrong for me to express my feelings to Alice. And I have no right to think of a woman that way. Not yet. But even as I write these words, something inside shouts that there is more. I'm a person. I was somebody before I went under the surgeon's knife. And I have to love someone. May 8th. Even now that I have learned what has been going on behind Mr. Donner's back, I find it hard to believe. I first noticed something was wrong during the rush hour 2 days ago. Gimpy was behind the counter, wrapping a birthday cake for one of our regular customers, a cake that sells for $3.95. But when Gimpy rang up the sale, the register showed only $2.95. I started to tell him he had made a mistake, but in the mirror behind the counter I saw a wink and a smile that passed from the customer to Gimpy, and the answering smile on Gimpy's face. And when the man took his change, I saw the flash of a large silver coin left behind in Gimpy's hand, before his fingers closed on it, and the quick movement with which he slipped the $half into his pocket. "Charlie," said a woman behind me, are there any more of those cream-filled eclairs?" "I'll go back and find out." I was glad of the interruption because it gave me time to think about what I had seen. Certainly, Gimpy had not made a mistake. He had deliberately undercharged the customer, and there had been an understanding between them. I leaned limply against the wall, not knowing what to do. Gimpy had worked for Mr. Donner for over 15 years. Donner, who always treated his workers like close friends, like relatives, had invited Gimpy's family to his house for dinner more than once. He often put Gimpy in charge of the shop when he had to go out, and I had heard stories of the time Donner gave Gimpy money to pay his wife's hospital bills. It was incredible that anyone would steal from such a man. There had to be some other explanation. Gimpy had really made a mistake in ringing up the sale, and the $50 was a tip. Or perhaps Mr. Donner had made some special arrangement for this one customer who regularly bought cream cakes. Anything rather than believe that Gimpy was stealing. Gimpy had always been so nice to me. No longer wanted to know. I kept my eyes averted from the register as I brought out the tray of eclairs and sorted out the cookies, buns, and cakes. But when the little red-haired woman came in, the one who always pinched my cheek and joked about finding a girlfriend for me, I recall that she came in most often when Donner was out to lunch and Gimpy was behind the counter. Gimpy had often sent me out to deliver orders to her house. Involuntarily, my mind totaled her purchases to $4.53, but I turned away so that I would not see what Gimpy rang up on the cash register. I wanted to know the truth, and yet I was afraid of what I might learn. $2.45, Miss Wheeler, he said. The ring of the sale, the counting of change, the slam of the drawer. Thank you, Mrs. Wheeler. I turned just in time to see him putting his hand into his pocket, and I heard the faint clink of coins. How many times had he used me as a go-between to deliver packages to her, undercharging her so that later they could split the difference? He had used me all these years to help him steal. I couldn't take my eyes off Gimpy as he clumped around behind the counter, perspiration streaming down from under his paper cap. He seemed animated and good-natured, but looking up he caught my eye, frowned and turned away. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to go behind the counter and smash his face in. I don't remember ever hating anyone before, but this morning I hated Gimpy with all my heart. Pouring this all out on a paper in the quiet of my room has not helped. Every time I think of Gimpy stealing from Mr. Donner, I want to smash something. Fortunately, I don't think I'm capable of violence. I don't think I ever hit anyone in my life. But I still have to decide what to do. Tell Donner that his trusted employee has been stealing from him all these years? Gimpy would deny it. And I could never prove it was true. And what would it do to Mr. Donner? I don't know what to do. May 9th. I can't sleep. This has gotten to me. I can't sleep. I owe Mr. Donner too much to stand by and see him robbed this way. I'd be as guilty as Gimpy by my silence. And yet, is it my place to inform on him? The thing that bothers me most is that when he sent me on deliveries, he used me to help him steal from Donner. Not knowing about it, I was outside it, not to blame. But now that I know, by my silence, I am as guilty as he is. Yet, Gimpy is a co-worker, 3 children. What will he do if Donner fires him? He might not be able to get another job, especially with his club foot. Is that my worry? What's right? Ironic that all my intelligence doesn't help me solve a problem like this. May 10th. I asked Professor Nemur about it, and he insists that I'm an innocent bystander, and there's no reason for me to become involved in what would be an unpleasant situation. The fact that I've been used as a go-between doesn't seem to bother him at all. If I didn't understand what was happening at the time, he says, then it doesn't matter. I'm no more to blame than the knife is to blame in a stabbing or the car in a collision. But I'm not an inanimate object, I argued. I'm a person. He looked confused for a moment and then laughed. Of course, Charlie, but I wasn't referring to now. I meant before the operation. Smug, pompous, I felt like hitting him too. I was a person before the operation, in case you forgot. Yes, of course, Charlie. Don't misunderstand, but it was different. And then he remembered that he had to check some charts in the lab. Dr. Strauss doesn't talk much during our psychotherapy sessions, but today when I brought it up, he said that I was morally obligated to tell Mr. Donner. But the more I thought about it, the less simple it became. I had to have someone else to break the tie, and the only one I could think of was Alice. Finally, at 10:30, I couldn't hold out any longer. I dialed 3 times, broke off in the middle each time, but on the 4th try, I managed to hold on until her voice. At first, she didn't think she should see me, but I begged her to meet me at the cafeteria where we had dinner together. I respect you. You've always given me good advice. And when she still wavered, I insisted, you have to help me. You're partly responsible. You said so yourself. If not for you, I would never have gone into this in the first place. You just can't shrug me off now. She must have sensed the urgency because she agreed to meet me. I hung up and stared at the phone. Why was it so important for me to know what she thought, how she felt? For more than a year at the adult center, the only thing that mattered was pleasing her. Was that why I had agreed to the operation in the first place? I paced up and back in front of the cafeteria until the policeman began to eye me suspiciously. Then I went and bought coffee. Fortunately, the table we had used last time was empty. She would think of looking for me back there. She saw me and waved to me, but stopped at the counter for coffee before she came over at the table. She smiled, and I knew it was because I had chosen the same table. A foolish, romantic gesture. I know it's late, I apologized, but I swear I was going out of my mind. I had to talk to you. She sipped her coffee and listened quietly as I explained how I had found out about Gimpy's cheating, my own reaction, and the conflicting advice I'd gotten at the lab. When I finished, she sat back and shook her head. Charlie, you amaze me. In some ways, you're so advanced, and yet when it comes to making a decision, you're still a child. I can't decide for you, Charlie. The answer can't be found in books, or be solved by bringing it to other people. Not unless you want to remain a child all your life. You've got to find the answer inside you. Feel the right thing to do. Charlie, you've got to learn to trust yourself. At first, I was annoyed at her lecture, but then suddenly it began to make sense. You mean I've got to decide? She nodded. In fact, I said, now that I think of it, I believe I've already decided some of it. I think Namur and Strauss are both wrong. She was watching me closely, excitedly. Something is happening to you, Charlie. If you could only see your face. You're damned right something is happening. A cloud of smoke was hanging in front of my eyes, and with one breath you blew it away. A simple idea. Trust myself. And it never occurred to me before. Charlie, you're wonderful. I caught her hand and held it. No, it's you. You touch my eyes and make me see. She blushed and pulled her hand back. The last time we were here, I said, I told you I liked you. I should have trusted myself to say I love you. Don't, Charlie. Not yet. Not yet? I shouted. That's what you said last time. Why not yet? Shh, wait a while, Charlie. Finish your studies, see where they lead you. You're changing too fast. What does that have to do with it? My feelings for you won't change because I'm becoming intelligent. I'll only love you more. But you're changing emotionally, too. In a peculiar sense, I'm the first woman you've ever really been aware of in this way. Up to now, I've been your teacher, someone you turn to for help and advice. You've been bound to think you're in love with me. See other women. Give yourself more time. What you're saying is that those young boys are always falling in love with their teachers and that emotionally I'm still just a boy. You're twisting my words around. No, I don't think of you as a boy. Emotionally retarded then. No, Then why? Charlie, don't push me. I don't know. Already you've gone beyond my intellectual reach. In a few months or even weeks, you'll be a different person. When you mature intellectually, we may not be able to communicate. When you mature emotionally, you may not even want me. I've got to think of myself too, Charlie. Let's wait and see. Be patient. She was making sense, but I wasn't letting myself listen. The other night, I choked out, "You don't know how much I looked forward to that date. I was out of my mind wondering how to behave, what to say, wanting to make the best impression, and terrified I might say something to make you angry. You didn't make me angry. I was flattered. Then, when can I see you again? I have no right to let you get involved." "But I am involved," I shouted, and then seeing people turn to look, I lowered my voice until it trembled with anger. "I'm a person, a man, and I can't live with just books and tapes and electronic mazes. You say, see other women. How can I when I don't know any other women? Something inside is burning me up, and all I know is it makes me think of you. I'm in the middle of a page and I see your face on it, not blurred like those in my past, but clear and alive. I touch the page and your face is gone, and I want to tear the book apart and throw it away. Please, Charlie, let me see you again. Tomorrow at the lab. You know that's not what I mean. Always away from the lab. Away from the university. Alone." I could tell she wanted to say yes. She was surprised by my insistence. I was surprised at myself. I only knew that I couldn't stop pressing her, and yet there was a terror in my throat as I begged her. My palms were damp. Was I afraid she'd say no, or afraid she'd say yes? If she hadn't broken the tension by answering me, I think I would have fainted. "All right, Charlie. Away from the lab and the university, but not alone. I don't think we should be alone together." "Anywhere you say," I gasped, "just so I can be with you and not think of tests, statistics, questions, answers." She frowned for a moment. "All right. They have free spring concerts in Central Park. Next week you can take me to one of the concerts." When we got to her doorway, she turned quickly and kissed my cheek. "Good night, Charlie. I'm glad you called me. I'll see you at the lab." She closed the door and I stood outside the building and looked at the light in her apartment window until it went out. There's no question about it now. I'm in love. Alright, give me one moment. Thanks again to Alucard for being a good beacon of positivity, not allowing any nonsense to occur here in the Dragon's Roost. Just send another insolent coward to the dungeon, and we'll be good. Thank you, Alucard. One moment. So, there's no question about it now, I'm in love. To May 11th. After all this thinking and worrying, I realized Alice was right. I had to trust my intuition. At the bakery, I watched Gimpy more closely. 3 times today, I saw him undercharging customers and pocketing his portion of the difference as the customers passed money back to him. It was only with certain regular customers that he did it, and it occurred to me that these people were as guilty as he. Without their agreement, this could never take place. Why should Gimpy be the scapegoat? That's when I decided on the compromise. It might not be the perfect decision, but it was my decision, and it seemed to be the best way under the circumstances. I would tell Gimpy what I knew and warn him to stop. I got him alone back by the washroom, and when I came up to him, he started away. "I've got something important to talk to you about," I said. "I want your advice for a friend who has a problem. He's discovered that one of his fellow employees is cheating his boss, and he doesn't know what to do about it. He doesn't like the idea of informing and getting the guy into trouble, but he won't stand by and let his boss, who has been good to both of them, be cheated." Gimpy looked at me hard. "What does this friend of yours plan to do about it?" "That's the trouble. He doesn't want to do anything. He feels if the stealing stops, there would be nothing gained by doing nothing at all. He would forget about it." "Your friend ought to keep his nose in his own business," said Gimpy, shifting off his club foot. "He ought to keep his eyes closed to things like that and know who his friends are. A boss is a boss, and working people got to stick together." "My friend doesn't feel that way." "It's none of his business. He feels that if he knows about it, he's partly responsible. So he's decided that if the thing stops, he's got nothing more to say. Otherwise, he'll tell the whole story. I wanted to ask your opinion. Do you think that under the circumstances, the stealing will stop?" It was a strain for him to conceal his anger. I could see that he wanted to hit me, but he just kept squeezing his fist. "Tell your friend the guy doesn't seem to have any choice." "That's fine," I said. "That will make my friend very happy." Gimpy started away, and then he paused and looked back. "Your friend, could it be maybe he's interested in a cut? Is that his reason?" "No, he just wants the whole thing to stop." He glared at me. "I can tell you. You'll be sorry you stuck your nose in. I always stood up for you. I should have had my head examined." And then he limped off. Perhaps I ought to have told Donna the whole story and had Gimpy fired. I don't know. Doing it this way has something to be said for it. It's over and done with. But how many people are there like Gimpy who use other people that way? May 15th. My studies are going well. The university library is my second home now. Yeah, I think we'll pick it up from there because I do want to have plenty of time for the Fortnite clip. Get to Kingdom Come Deliverance next time, hopefully. Alucard, you are looking good there. Blood Knight. Dragon Juice logo. Well, there's 7 minutes left of this track. Okay, we'll do one more chapter since we're finishing this track. They've had to get me a private room because it takes me only a second to absorb the printed page, and curious students invariably gather around me as I flip through my books. My most absorbing interests at the present time are etymologies of ancient languages, the newer works on the calculus of variations, and Hindu history. It's amazing the way things, apparently disconnected, hang together. I've moved up to another plateau, and now the streams of the various disciplines seem to be closer to each other, as if they flow from a single source. Strange how when I'm in the college cafeteria and hear the students arguing about history or politics or religion, It all seems so childish. I find no pleasure in discussing ideas anymore on such an elementary level. People resent being shown what they don't approach, the complexities of the problem. They don't know what exists beyond the surface ripples. It's just as bad on a higher level. And I've given up any attempt to discuss these things with the professors at Beekman. Bert introduced me to an economics professor at the faculty cafeteria, one well known for his work on the economic factors affecting interest rates. I had long wanted to talk to an economist about some of the ideas I had come across in my reading. The moral aspects of the military blockade as a weapon in times of peace had been bothering me. I asked him what he thought of the suggestion by some sensation that we begin using such tactics as blacklisting and reinforcement of the Navicert controls that have been used in World Wars I and II against some of the smaller nations which now oppose us. He listened quietly, staring off into space, and I assumed he was collecting his thoughts for an answer, but a few minutes later he cleared his throat and shook his head. That, he explained apologetically, was outside his area of specialization. His interest was in interest rates, and he hadn't given military economics much thoughts. He suggested I see Dr. Wessey, who once did a paper on war trade agreements during World War II. He might be able to help me. Before I could say anything else, he grabbed my hand and shook it. He had been glad to meet me, but there were some notes he had to assemble for a lecture, and then he was gone. The same thing happened when I tried to discuss Chaucer with an American literature specialist, question an Orientalist about the Trobriand Islanders, and tried to focus on the problems of automation-caused unemployment with a social psychologist who specialized in public opinion polls on adolescent behavior. They would always find excuses to slip away, afraid to reveal the narrowness of their knowledge. How different they seem to be now, and how foolish I was to ever have thought that professors were intellectual giants. They're people, and afraid the rest of the world will find out. And Alice is a person too, a woman, not a goddess, and I'm taking her to the concert tomorrow night. May 17th. Almost morning and I can't fall asleep. I've got to understand what happened to me last night at the concert. The evening started out well enough. The mall at Central Park had filled up early, and Alice and I had to pick our way among the couples stretched out on the grass. Finally, far back from the path, we found an unused tree where, out of range of the lamplight, the only evidence of other couples was the protesting female laughter and the glow of lit cigarettes. "This'll be fine," she said. "No reason to be right on top of the orchestra." "What's that they're playing now?" I asked. "Debussy's La Mer. Do you like it?" I settled down beside her. "I don't know much about that kind of music. I have to think about it." "Don't think about it," she whispered. "Feel it. Let it sweep over you like the sea without trying to understand." She lay back on the grass and turned her face in the direction of the music. I had no way of knowing what she expected of me. This was far from the clear lines of problem solving and the systematic acquisition of knowledge. I kept telling myself that the sweating palms, the tightness in my chest, the desire to put my arms around her was merely biochemical reactions. I even traced the pattern of stimulus and reaction that caused my nervousness and excitement. Yet everything was fuzzy and uncertain. Should I put my arm around her or not? Was she waiting for me to do it? Would she get angry? I could tell I was still behaving like an adolescent, and it angered me. "Here," I choked. "Why don't you make yourself more comfortable? Rest on my shoulder." She let me put my arm around her, but she didn't look at me. She seemed to be too absorbed in the music to realize what I was doing. Did she want me to hold her that way, or was she merely tolerating it. As I slid my arm down to her waist, I felt her tremble. But still she kept staring in the direction of the orchestra. She was pretending to be concentrating on the music so that she wouldn't have to respond to me. She didn't want to know what was happening. As long as she looked away and listened, she could pretend that my closeness, my arms around her, were without her knowledge or consent. She wanted me to make love to her body while she kept her mind on other things, on higher things. I reached over roughly and turned her chin. "Why don't you look at me? Are you pretending I don't exist?" "No, Charlie," she whispered. "I'm pretending I don't exist." When I touched her shoulder, she stiffened and trembled, but I pulled her toward me. Then it happened. It started as a hollow buzzing in my ears, an electric saw, far away. Then the cold, arms and legs prickly and finger numbing. Suddenly I had the feeling I was being watched. A sharp switch in perception. I saw, from some point in the darkness behind a tree, the two of us lying in each other's arms. I looked up to see a boy of 15 or 16 crouching nearby. "Hey!" I shouted as he stood up. I saw his trousers were open and he was exposed. "What's the matter?" she gasped. I jumped up and he vanished into the darkness. "Did you see him?" "No," she said, smoothing her skirt nervously. "I didn't see anyone." "Standing right here, watching us, close enough to touch you." "Charlie, where are you going? He couldn't have gone very far." "Leave him alone, Charlie, it doesn't matter." But it mattered to me. I ran into the darkness, stumbling over startled couples, but there was no way to tell where he had gone. The more I thought about him, the worse became the queasy feeling that comes from fainting. Lost and alone in a great wilderness, and then I caught hold of myself and found my way back to where Alice was sitting. "Did you find him?" "No, but he was there. I saw him." She looked at me strangely. "Are you all right?" "I will be, in a minute. Just that damned buzzing in my ears." Maybe we'd better go. All the way back to her apartment, it was on my mind that the boy had been crouching there in the darkness, and for 1 second I had caught a glimpse of what he was seeing, the two of us lying in each other's arms. "Would you like to come in? I could make some coffee." I wanted to, but something warned me against it. "Better not, I've got a lot of work to do tonight." "Charlie, is it anything I said or did?" "Of course not, just the kid watching us upset me." She was standing close to me, waiting for me to kiss her. I put my arm around her, but it happened again. If I didn't get away quickly, I would pass out. "Charlie, you look sick." "Did you see him, Alice? The truth." She shook her head. "No, it was too dark, but I'm sure. I've got to go. I'll call you." And before she could stop me, I pulled away. I had to get out of that building before everything caved in. Thinking about it now, I'm certain it was a hallucination. Dr. Strauss feels that emotionally I'm still in that adolescent state where being close to a woman or thinking of sex sets off anxiety, panic, even hallucinations. He feels that my rapid intellectual development has deceived me into thinking I could live a normal life. But I've got to accept the fact that the fears and blocks triggered in these sexual situations reveal that emotionally I'm still an adolescent, sexually retarded. I guess he means I'm not ready for a relationship with a woman like Alice Kinnean. Not yet. We'll pick it up from there. Hope you enjoyed part 2 of Flowers for Algernon. Pretty interesting. Yeah, the big leaps and bounds that he is going through. And I will look forward to seeing the movies at some point as well. Alucard, you are looking great there, champion. They're also celebrating tonight. Solaria with her first on-stream 24-month resub. We've got new champions somewhere here. It was cool. Thank you, Alucard. I think we'll move on to a little Fortnite just because I did have my best ever comp round of this season on Saturday afternoon. So look forward to that. Just looking for that. New champion, hard to find for some reason. Imaloth, hidden for now. Hey, Q Alucard, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Tell us something about your weekend or your last few days. Let me see. New champion. There's so many things in the scene. Solaria. Give it the 24 months, my friend. Very lovely. Alright, a little bit of Fortnite for now. And we might come back tonight. I'm feeling a little sick, a little tired still, so I'll focus on the rehearsal tomorrow, maybe go over the lines a bit. We'll see. Fortnite, just lots of work, yeah. I feel you there. Have a little more time off, which will be good for my sanity, my mental health, as well as my actual health, physical health. Not that mental health isn't actual health, but you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. Alright. Moving on there. Going to be great. Not that mental health isn't actual. Let's see what's next. Good fun. Good times with your Blood Knight. Alucard, are you gonna see the new Nosferatu movie, or do you get movies in New Zealand there, pretty close to America, or I think like Hawaii, they get them later or something? Just thinking of other places. Some get them really early, some get them later. Or Japan, Korea, and such get like a lot of games and technology before we do too. Sometimes. It's interesting. Alright, bit of Fortnite we go. Show you this fun replay, which will be good to show it a bit at least. Let's check it out. Bit of Fortnite. We shall see. Keanu Reeves, I know it has Bill Skarsgård or such, the It actor. And yeah, Shadow is Sonic, that's Keanu Reeves. But it's possible, as multiple movies on the theater at once, you know. That does happen. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's in that, but I know he's in Sonic. And that also has Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe in Nosferatu. Interesting. Few good actors. The Skarsgård family. It's interesting that they're all actors. You know, the father and the two sons are. And I was watching the Star Wars Skeleton Crew, and you know, Bryce Dallas Howard is the daughter of Ron Howard. Ron Howard is a child actor, and he did Solo, directed Solo, a few other things. Bryce Dallas Howard, of course, known mainly as an actress, but she also directing those, was like on the set of Solo and Star Wars stuff too. So it's interesting, you know, the expansion of genres and things. I do want to see Gladiator 2 again, some other new movies. We shall see. What's going on here? Fortnite. New cheer for you tonight, Mr. Alucard. That is... Give me 1 second. Yeah. 72 bits for $5. Not actually $5, but the cheer is called $5. Dang, game capture having trouble tonight too. The avatars was having trouble earlier. Now just the general game capture's in trouble. Hold on. Sort this out. One way or another. Oh dear. I imagine it still works in the chill stone. Nope. Game capture just gone, apparently. That's crazy. It is. What in the world happened? Yeah, his game capture's just gone. Holy. That hasn't happened before. Yeah, I'll need to get 2 of them actually now, but for now I'll get the first one somewhere around here. Somewhere. Yeah, below the alert boxes and all. The important stuff. Below the display captures. Oh man. Did a number on it tonight, didn't it? What in the world happened? I don't know. Just avatars were having issues, and then I reset those, and somehow game capture got deleted altogether. Weird things with Streamlabs there, but I think we're okay for now. We just have the basic one. I can maybe do another one here in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna show the replay here to start, which was my best. Yeah, we'll do hopefully a little dailies time we have left tonight, but the replay is what I'm most excited for. Alucard, you're keeping our chat alive. Let's get you to enjoy some headphones for better sound quality. Should be a bit better. Alright. Should be alright. Decent enough. 43 out of date replays. I don't think it didn't last very long. But yeah, we'll get a second game capture here after we show this first one. Assuming everything is working properly now. I'm not sure how they got deleted, but as long as the avatars and the game capture is working out, it's alright. We got 5 kill, Diamond 2 match, placed in 3rd position. And I have to show it to you before it expires, apparently, because once it expires you can't watch them. Not sure why they have a weird system like that, why you can't just download them to your computer and or just upload them straight to YouTube would be ideal, but I don't know. You have to manually capture them for some reason. Strange, but it is what it is. So anyway, this is just the best round of the season so far. Combination of hiding, silence, micro SMG, and the monsoon sword, the typhoon blade. Typhoon blade there. New cheer here tonight, Mr. Alucard, 72 bits. For $5, it's already tested. This time, yeah, we won't have the under 100-bit cheer trigger. This time when you actually cheer 72 bits, it will work for the new $5 cheer. It's about 30 seconds long. I think you'll enjoy it, just like a reference to Twitch streamers in general. It's pretty funny. Alright, so I hid for the very first 15 minutes of the game, almost. Most of the round here. I was hiding several places on spawn. I think I went to Warriors Rest or Warriors Reach, something like that. Solaria is our new dragon champion tonight. You are looking great. Thank you, Solaria, for our very first ever. Hold on. Very first ever 24-month on-stream reset. Appreciate you. Now the sub-dragons aren't working. One thing is breaking left and right. I do not understand it. So weird. One thing after the other is just falling apart. I'm not sure why. It's not even letting me re-upload them. Look at the sub-dragons for you next time, Solaria. I don't know what is going on here. There it is. So delayed. There we go for Solaria. Very exciting. New cheer for 72 bits tonight. I meant to put that in the title too, but you know the title is pretty full already with Magnificent Monday and Flowers for Algernon, so not a big deal. But hope to get some more channel rewards. I don't have any slots left for those, but we're looking forward to those as well. Mr. Alucard. Got your Blood Knight already on that chat, thankfully, so don't need to reactivate him. What is happening with this loading? I'm just trying to fast forward a bit. At this point, I might as well watch it from the beginning, how long it's taking. Just watch the whole thing. Goodness. Patience is a virtue. Human life, human consciousness. Oh dear. Gwenpool looks nice on my screen at least. Would you rather see that? Okay. I'll show her for now. Oh man. A few issues here tonight. Be over it. Well, do what we can. To draw dog ears, follow these steps. Or detail ear shape. Funny thing. Yeah, it actually stopped loading altogether. It's just connecting now. This server or something. Strange. Not sure what's going on with it. Yep, usually replays aren't the hardest thing to watch or do in the game. Maybe we should play around first to get it to render a bit better, load systems better. I don't know what's going on right now. Why it's just perpetually loading. That doesn't usually happen either. Always something, right? There's always something. Do our best to focus and address it. Best we can do. But in the meantime, Alucard, I'd love to chat with you. What will your first champion command of the night be, I wonder? Perhaps, some, sugar. That was Cinnamon's favorite. We missed Cinnamon, so some sugar or some, psychology, sugar, psych. This might be enjoyable. Sugar and psych. We already heard Shower tonight from Solaria's grand entrance. Good fun there. Yep. We shall see. It will be good. Yeah, I might as well try to restart at this point. I think we just got hung up on something. I don't know what's going on, but seems to be just unresponsive. Just for a simple replay, you know? It's nothing elaborate at all. Huh. So I like to have Task Manager on the other screen too. Can't actually access it. Pretty weird. But much love, Alucard. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing alright. I don't know what his technical difficulties are, but we'll sort it out. Huh. Strange. Hold on. To our good reading sections. That was nice. Oh man. We have times of it tonight. But at least we can chat about it a little while, Algernon. A little while longer. Game security violation detected. What? What security? Just trying to watch a replay, man. That is very strange. But you know, you get random error messages. All sorts of things. We'll try that again. Hopefully be alright. Not sure what that's about, but let's try to play around first this next time. Maybe that'll make it easier to watch the replay. Maybe a custom would be easier than a regular game too, but ideally I could go for those daily quests for extra XP for the battle pass. Been playing Spore, remember that game, Alucard? The old Spore, it used to be really good, like, and then EA took it over, made it kind of cartoony, but yeah, classic Spore. I do remember that game. Still $20 after being released in 2008. That isn't greed. 2008 release, still $20. OBS Studios on Steam, I didn't realize that. That's funny. Guess it's one of the tools. There's a lot of Steam tools for those games. That's true. Here comes the lag again. Look at that stutter. I'm guessing it's mostly my internet, but I don't know. Right, the game could be overloaded with players on a Monday night. I don't know about that. Probably an average amount of players. The weekend, probably the peaks, right? You would think so. Typically, most game servers, the weekend is when everyone comes to play. From school, from work. Yeah. Wonder what's going on here. Not entirely sure. I can look. That will be good. Alucard, you feeling ready there, champion, for your exclamation psych, exclamation sugar? Either or both. I think you would enjoy them tonight. So we load in here. Try a quick round. Oh look, there's even new sub badges for the actual badge. See that in the tip jar? The tip jar went in the in the tip jar. The actual sub badge went in the tip jar. Yeah, I love that. I'm glad that is enabled. Boons. Yeah, I got some good percentage the last round. It's about 20-30%. But we're gonna start off here standard. Let's try to get visit these to begin with.
This is the way.
Volume at 50 right now, half volume. Should be alright. Let's check the... Don't worry about the compete tab for now. Let's check the shop. Hey, speaking of Keanu Reeves. Alucard. There he is. My Hero Academia. Just waiting for Witcher and a couple other things to come back. Could have got more Marvel, DC stuff, but I feel like I probably have enough of that for now. At least have Catwoman from DC. Is a lot less DC than Marvel stuff with actual Marvel seasons, so maybe they'll do a DC season. They probably have before, right? I don't know. That'd be fun. Have actual DC tools and landscapes and bosses. Could be fun. Maybe that's why they re-released Poison Ivy, Joker, and the other types of Batman, Harley Quinn. There's good types and the weird samurai types. Things for the season, basically. I'm ready for more Grim Dawn soon as well. That was a lot of fun last time, making new hardcore characters, and Crucible didn't work out, but I just feel like they patched it since I originally played it. Mostly off stream, I guess. Before stream. You saw me upload the pictures 2020. I first started playing a year before stream, so that was interesting too. But here we go for now. Might turn down the volume a bit, it's a little loud. I remember Honey Badger. Teletubbies like you, Alucard. They're your fellow Teletubbies, the Teletubby clan. They sure are. Ooh, there's that little ion star, I like that. I haven't archived the shark yet, I thought I did actually. Not yet, robot shark. Alright, ready to get clipped here. Oh, there's the ping. There's the lag spike as I land. Yep, I am frozen. How can Fortnite have so much trouble? I mean, it's a big island, but simple game. Need a car now. Ideally. Probably a bot, but who knows? Maybe I'll turn it down at some point here. Yeah, pretty sure no player has that bad of aim. 100 hits with one bullet. 100 damage. That's a lot of damage from one pistol shot. I don't think it was a headshot either. Huh. I don't know how it works. Someone should explain it to me. Many things I don't know about yet. That was a headshot. See the orange. But then I do more damage on a non-headshot. Must be random or something. These hitboxes do not make much sense to the untrained mind. The unversed mind here. I don't even know. Birthday cake. Oh well. Any cars? I think the cars would be probably lower here. Where could the cars be? You can't take boats this season, so no worries about that. Oh, the decision making. I try to grab it, it just doesn't work. Maybe it's easier when your inventory is empty to actually grab stuff. Not in range. Should fish a little bit at least. A bit of fishing. A tad bit of fishing. Let's see what we get. Shield. More shields. Alright, well I have to sacrifice weapons for now. Because I do want shields. Or I could just leave that, I guess. Take them instead. Probably better not sacrifice weapons, I only have one. It depends on the situation, but generally it's good to have more bullets. And a shotgun actually would be better. Double. SMG rifle. Just doing this for XP. Ping is actually pretty stable, which is nice. Now we rendered in initially. Let's get ourselves to Foxy. Can I get 6 or only 4? Yeah, only 6. Only 4. Bonk. Get more XP for jumping up there, but lazy, I guess. Have less copyright as far as Algernon. But should we have no copyright is the question. Turn on that creator mode. That's not a big deal. At some point I will, though. Probably. Just not deal with it, you know. Not have to mute the segment, trim out the segment, whatever. Let's see. Chest I'm passing by. That's alright. Yeah, it's weird you don't get the chest XP when you open them from environment. 750. It seems to be giving me more now. Maybe that's not true. I can't tell if it's accurate or not. It seems to be giving me bonus XP. Usually it's 500, right? I don't know. It's giving me half more. I only got one shieldfish. It bugged. The other one actually bugged. Oh, well, we're close to as good as big shield potions. That's better. Let's get to our destination. First time with this back bling, actually. Try to find a boss. Yeah, aiming down sights makes a big difference. Here comes the ping. There's the key. I never got that before. But to find the vault is another matter. The vault where it goes. Try. There goes the boss, I guess. Huh. Okay then. Try my luck at the hunting rifle, but I'm not exactly confident. That don't feel so good now, does it? Yeah, ping is not cooperating, but that's what it is. Oh, what's this? Rift. Yeah, I forgot what that vault is. I never really learned it on the map. Look at this. Giant arrows and swords and such. Interesting. There it is. How do you know? First time I get to use the vault. Very good. Not bad. Wow, that's worth it every time if you can find them. That's a lot of stuff in here. Holy, look at all this. That is intense. And a legendary Oni. Some masks to choose from. Pretty nice. Plenty of healing. Plenty of ammo. Yeah, I've seen videos of this, but one of the few vaults I actually opened myself. Yeah, I'll take, let's see, I guess that. Maybe now. What else? Yeah, I'll keep the SMG. Get the mask. I'll take the fire mask. For good measure, still have the bunkers. Alright, I guess we're good. Not bad, yeah, it's a good find for sure. No sword in here, but shotgun beats sword if you have the ping to work with. Alright, let's go. Yeah, that was nice. I actually opened it for the first time. Mostly intact. Final gas station. Yeah. Yeah, the ping is probably only on Wi-Fi, so you see how fragile it is. Do a stream test if you're curious. Oh boy. There's the assist finally. See how long that took. Go. All topped off. Good to go. Ooh, a sword. Yeah, trade the bunkers for a sword. Push bombs. Good place to hide for now if I cared, but you know, it's unranked, so what does it matter? Get top 10 and all. Just for the fun of it. So I found a boss to do damage to though. See on the Shogun yet? Let's see. Not Shogun, but you know, the other loot island, basically. Yeah, it's already up there. Get that boss damage. Leave my car here. We'll float on up. Ouch. There's another car there, but focus here. Okay. Let's see where he's at. Where's he at? Uh-oh. I lost my chug splash, didn't I? Yep. Where is he? Oh! Almost there. Extra easy target, of course. Ow, very easy target. Yeah, that hurts. Holy. Should have been dead there, basically. Just trying to get my boss damage, but no. What are those footsteps? Someone trying to vulture me. Crazy. Come here, little buddy. Wow, that's a lucky find. This moment. Very lucky find. That was basically dead. Did I get there? Boss damage? Yes, we did get there. The fire, the shotgun, the micro SMG wasn't a. It was hard to do, but yeah. Still in the game. My ping disappeared. Nope, still there. There's also another card closer here, but we'll see. Little buddy, great help. Whoa! That's funny. Thank you. See you later. Car's all the way over there. Probably won't make it in the storm. Let me see. 2 DPS. Yeah, it's not worth it at this point to go there. So let's go in here instead. See what we find. Dynamic and changing game that it is. Could keep the shield. Seems like a legendary. Somewhere in the midst. Nah, it's just a regular. Take a bath while we're here. I guess not. Should probably get more health, get the other elemental there. Yeah, the bunkers aren't really valuable. as health is. Straightforward health, but ping is better than anything, I'd probably say. Most cases, ping is someone's gotta win either round or not. Generally speaking. Yeah, it's pretty unstable right now. Get Solaria's featured. Chat here as well if we can. Uh-oh. Not the best time to go AFK. Let's see what happens here. Teleportation. And the like. That won't go anywhere. Oh dear. Support class. Thought I'd get that in one solos. Let me up the damn mountain. Gosh dang it. I've died several times because of that, actually. Thankfully, the developers, you know, tested the map. Epic Games have tested storm circles and things. So you don't just die because of a mountain happens to be there. Yeah, I've died of fall damage more in this island, more this Shogun Solitude, than anywhere else on the map. Several times now, actually. Just jump off the mountain, think I can reach a zip line or something, and I can't. That's been rough, to be sure. Fire boom. Oh dear. See, zipline goes in the tree basically. Yeah, they shoot at you from trees pretty often too. Oh. Oh dear. Yeah, that's some hefty storm damage now. Frick. Yeah, I don't know how to get up there. Shit. But I'm still dead because I have nowhere to go. Yep, dead of storm. That's a rough mountain, you know? We'll show one of the replay viewers. Not interested in your weirdness there. Yeah, I know, you know, how I could have got around the mountain there maybe a little earlier, but that's just bad terrain. Shogun's Solitude there is definitely the worst island for me because of the environment. Oh well. Still number 2, pretty good. Number 2, number 1. I'll show just one instance of the replay if it lets me. We'll get to comp later, off stream. And we shall see. Quick replay for now. Ooh, that's a nice one. I got the other version of her, basically. That's funny, a random chance there. Alright, it's gonna let me watch the replay now. If not, we'll just have to save it for another time, or I don't know. It's been difficult lately. Maybe I should delete those. Maybe that would help. Just annoying that it does that. There's the last round. 22 minutes. Let's see if it'll let me view streaming. Wait, you're supposed to. Yeah, it's to open that. Oh crap. Why does it have so many weird issues like that? Strange. Okay, let's see if it lets me watch it. Hopefully. Little Green Day, yeah, it's unavoidable, I guess. Actually bought. Well, I didn't buy the song. They gave you the song. They gave it to you in a free rewards type of thing. Oh well, just a little Green Day. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I hope. It's not a big deal. Alright, so for this round, first half of it I was kind of hiding near the Warriors' Rest area. And then let me see here. Trying to watch myself, not other people. There you go. Watch other people in the replay. I mean, you see the enemy's perspective. That could be interesting sometimes, of course. But anyway, we'll go to the 5 kills here, and I'll show you more extensively later. Assuming that it allows it to. As for the camera angle, yeah, gameplays. Remember this guy, yeah, Edge of the Storm. He's the first kill. Tried to sword with that one. I sworded him with that one instead. And I'll commentate without face cam for now. Then on to the gas station. That guy, I was riding with him for a long time. I'll show you what happened later. He's in the car, but yeah, he's still competing and all, so I have to take him out. Sorry. Then on to the next one, a few seconds or minutes later. This guy with his follower, Thanos, basically getting crossfire, but able to finish him next to the car. That's number 3. And then gas station battle. Back and forth, a lot of stuff. Shooting through it, we shoot at each other. I decide I have a better idea than this. Shotgun time! And take some hits, we're able to heal up and such. And sword battle out here. Various things, reloading. Taking heavy damage, healing when I can. Decisive strike finishes the job there. And for how I die, shortly after that, basically I just run out of health, run out of options. And guys, a shotgun behind the rock here. As I try to heal with the storm and all, but that's just not gonna work. So it was hard fought and fun stuff, but that's where it is. Alrighty, thank you to Alucard, thank you to Solaria. Positivity shall persist. We'll do the best we can with our abilities and options. Till hopefully tomorrow. Thank you for the nightly sub goal. Thank you for resub. Thank you for Alucard for active chat. We shall return. Until then, good night for now. And I'll catch ya later. Good night for now. See you in a bit. Good night for now. Gonna be good. See you in a bit. Good night for now. Gonna be good. See you in a bit.
Run.
Look here.
Yeah, be careful.
I have no frames.
Okay, well, don't be careful then. Ace, you had me scared there for a second. I saw that little dragon go across your screen. I'm like, what the fuck is that coming at you?